Benny Benson, who designed the Alaska flag. And he's the narrator of the play A Native Land that I wrote with funding from the Alaska Humanities Forum, which was giving $1 million for in grants for the 50th anniversary of statehood. So the play is mainly aimed at schools, and the first school that's going to perform it is actually Titlik Community School. Titlik has a population of 50, and they have about 17 kids. 4 kids are going to take about a dozen roles each. Probably everyone else in the village will be in the play rather than the audience. And that's the village. I'm going out there in a couple of weeks to actually help them out and see the play. So when I wrote the play, that's the world premiere. So when I wrote the play, I told my husband John, I've written a play, would you like to read it? He said, no thanks, do it as a comic book and I'll read it. So I went and got a grant to do it. Some of the Alaska's top artists, the posters, did the Your Square Life strip in the Anchorage Press for a very long time. It's excellent. This is the first scene with Benny Benson, who meets a high school girl called Abigail from Modern Day, and she's just got her PFD check and wondering where it came from and how she got it. And so he decides to show her all different scenes from Alaska history. So the next artist is, I believe, Evan Zervitz. Yes, she lives in Ketchikan, and she's our one-woman artist. I'm hoping to get at least one more. Although there's 17 scenes, and there's only actually 2 scenes left to be allocated. So I really hope I can find one. I've been trying really hard, and so far I haven't had any volunteers from women. But this is rough, by the way. Some of the artwork you'll see here is rough. Other artwork is completely finished with the lettering. They've already been working on, some of them have been working on their scenes for about 4 months. Most people who've been working on a scene for 4 months have just about finished one now. And some are already on their second scenes. This one is Gideon Girl. He's an art student at UAA, and this is a scene about a meeting between Southeast Indians and Governor Lyman Knapp in the 1890s. They went to the governor and had a meeting to complain that white fishermen were taking all the fish. So I would think about it, okay, yeah, they can just carry on doing that. So that was how Alaska was basically governed in those days. And I think Gideon's very talented. He's going to do this in charcoal. He's going to go over it in charcoal. This is Sean Jones, another UAA art student, who's doing the Gold Rush scene, which is based in Nome. All this, the whole text, the whole play and the graphic novel are based on real sort of incidents in Alaska history. This is James Wickersham at the first legislature in 1913, where he gave a powerful speech. They just convened. It was the first ever legislature, and they were already saying, well, we won't be able to do much. We don't have much power. And he just railed at them to say, of course you can do something. And so it was very disruptive, and the whole session got disrupted in the end because they didn't like what he was telling them. And this is Shanley Macaulay, who's very, very talented. Very detailed and realistic portrayal. So Duke Russell is also quite well known. He has artwork in the Anchorage Museum. And this is a scene where Benny Benson goes out to an island with his teacher when he's 10 years old. Next up, we have Demi McCarris, who's an Alaska Native artist who lives in Seattle now. He's the fastest artist. He's already done 2 scenes. He's also done the longest scene, which is 10 pages long. So he's pretty amazing. And this scene, he's also done them in 2 different styles. And this scene is where Governor Greening is talking about Native civil rights. And this is Peter Dunlap Scholl, who was the Anchorage Daily News' cartoonist for 25 years until he got laid off. Voluntarily. And, so fortunately he's still working. He's done some great animations as well and won a prize at the Anchorage Film Festival. This is a scene about selecting the Prudhoe Bay area as state land, which was a brilliant hunch by a geologist who's still here in Anchorage called Tom Marshall. He insisted that they should select the Prudhoe Bay area for state land, saying there would be something up there, and no one believed him until finally he talked them into it. So that's more than just lucky for Alaska. It sort of changed the course of Alaska history. We wouldn't have our money today if he hadn't done that. And then there was a protest outside the oil lease sale in 1969 because there'd been no native claim settlement tax and there'd be nothing for the natives. So the next scene goes directly into the struggle for the Native Claims Settlement Act with Charlie Edwardson, who is one of the native leaders, and he has a confrontation with Emil Notti in a hotel room where Emil Notti is very sort of moderate and he doesn't want to do anything radical, and Charlie Edwardson wants to seize a Doolan station and demand land. So we're hoping to get this published by Greatland Graphics, a publisher in Anchorage, that does illustrated children's books, and we're talking to them. And hopefully this graphic novel will be used in schools and bought by the general public, because I think it's a fantastic showcase for Alaskan art.
Mm-hmm.